Nice job, Corin. That's a great one. I'm gonna take you through some of the pieces to do a few of these things. I don't want to be so close. Let's see. Okay, so the good news is that get all the jitters on, right? You, in this piece, have a very nice idea of the characters of these sections. I want to try to bring those a little bit more to life, yeah? I think we can find a little bit more of your sound, and then we'll take a look at maybe some of the articulation in some of the later sections. So shake it all out, and let's go from the beginning one more time. Stance here somewhere in the middle of the room. Feel confident, you're balanced, you know your body, you have a comfortable stance. Feel like you can rely on the ground, the earth. We're standing here, and I want you to support your instrument a little bit more high. Right? You are playing a little bit into the ground, but you can set yourself up for success by having this be more of a stable surface. Yeah? Let's the same thing. Just face me. Face me. Yeah, there you go. Like a little bit like that. So violin is projecting out towards the audience.
Should I do it with the piano or just?
Let's do from just that bar tall. I want you to add in your ingredients, right? We're like finding the recipe for you to present your best sound every time, yeah? You have the luxury, you have put in the work and the effort, it's memorized, right? So now, you have this sense, you have your eyesight. I want you to utilize that tool. And this time, at the beginning, just look at your contact point and see if you can keep your focus where it's going to be, where you want it to be. Yeah. And see if we can clean up a little bit of that sound.
Yeah.
Yeah, please. That same, just that entrance. Let's do that a few times. That's fine. Let's keep going for now. From after the repeat, the first double bar there. Let's go back to that double bar. You have two figures here. You spend tall. I want you to, instead of spending that bow on the tied note, come in with that weight as you do, but save your bow so we can craft that line up the scale. Yeah? It happens twice. it's in that direction. Yeah, just looking here at the score together once, so you have this figure, this line. We're going up the mountain, right? Here we're going up the mountain all the way to the harmonic, and then here we're continuing to build until this downbeat. You come away from here, I want you to instead try to, each two measures, we are groaning, yeah? When you save your bow, you do it nicely. When you spend it, let go of the weight. We need to contribute some extra weight in the upper half of the bow. The weight is not there, right? So you have to work a little bit harder to craft the kind of sound that tells the story of your music. Yeah. One more time from that second entrance. Nice. That's awesome. Can I borrow your instrument for a moment? I didn't bring my axe. It's in hibernation at home. But do you have a cloth to clean your violin? Yeah. Not right now, but after the class. After the class, yeah? We want to feel the weight into the string. Go all the way to the front. Sometimes people kind of improvise there. I want you to experiment. I'm not going to tell you exactly what to do, but come take the center stage. Experiment a little bit. How improvisatory can you be? There's no right answer really there. One more time, please, that same spot from the C. Save, then go. Contact point. Keep going from there. From there? Yes. From that G sharp. It's all you. So you have a couple things that I want you to take back to the practice room, and you can continue polishing the piece, yeah? An awareness of where your contact point is, because we're translating that to beautiful sound, right? And then now that you have an understanding and a memorization of the piece, I want you to stretch the limits of your rubato. We're kind of finding where's the tension and the release in the music. That's our main goal as instrumentalists, as musicians, yeah? Extracting tension and giving release, yeah? So you have a lot of that in here. So perhaps we'll come back to this section, but I do want to clean up this stroke in the second half. So perhaps one last time from the and we can go on from there, yeah? Careful, you rush a little bit here. You have more time than you think, yeah? Tricky because you have the off beats, yeah? Do once with me, play yum bum 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 bum. Yum bum 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 bum. Just by yourself, play a double of each of those notes. Do it with me once. Yes, just like that, but do it with me. I'll divide the bars. So yum bum 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 bum. Good rhythm. Go ahead. 1, 2. Double the D at the top. You bum 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 bum. Yeah, almost. You're still pushing me. Come with me. Yeah, yeah. Bing, bum, bum, bing, bum, 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 bing. Even if it's faster, yum, bum, 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 bing, bing. That eighth rest is so vital, yeah? So your syncopated rhythm is displaced until we reach that next downbeat, yeah? Bum, 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 bing, bing. Try once on your own, just with the printed rhythm. Nice. Now, force yourself, try a little slower. That rhythm was quite nice. Beautiful, beautiful, yeah? Now, kind of back to our performance tempo, but really steady, yeah? Yeah, nice. While you're doing that, we need to clean up some of that sound quality. So just care where you are with the contact point. Nice, beautiful. That was awesome. Okay, can we join with piano, please? Let's do that. Yeah, good, good. Yum bum bum bing, lum bum bim bing. The same idea when you have that, when you have the eighth quarter, right? That quarter is a full value quarter. Don't cheat it out of its life. Yum bum bim bing. And I think, and I try to impart to my students that your best chance of success is an awareness of where the pulse is going to be on the next downbeat, right? So we don't get lost with what happened before. Lum bum bim bim. You can catch the next beat. So you have that pulse going inside of you, your heartbeat that's everlasting. Let's hope. Let's go one more time. Allegretto vivace. Go. This is your practice tool, which we won't spend all the time right now, but I want you to take back to your individual practice, is when you have these offbeat rhythms, and anyone here can do this in when they're figuring out a rhythmic puzzle, is to fill in the rhythms that have the rests. Dim bum 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 bum. So that we force ourselves to put all the puzzle pieces together, yeah? And then take them out, right? So you have a little bit of work to do with that. Do you have any questions about that?
No.
Okay. If you ever do, find me later this week or something. Let's play the stroke. I want to hear the 16ths from the G, A, B flat. Yeah, nice. So take an eye on your contact point. I see you kind of looking around everywhere, but actually the information you need is here. So when we're feeling really musical, maybe sometimes we can look out, gaze at your loving family member. But when we are performing, it's so imperative that we take in all the information we can get, right? So we have, at the end of the day, the goal of beautiful sound, yeah? Come here. Let's do that stroke, so just go into playing position, bow on the string, and then just a nice solid tabletop here. Good, great adjustment. And then put the bow on the string. And we're looking for this kind of middle of the road sort of, and around the balance point, maybe a little higher. But what I want you to find is an opening here, a release here, and then a heavy weight here in the arm. I just felt almost you released. That was nice. Use that weight and craft how much you're going to use the weight into the string with that great bow hold. Yeah. Maybe just a violin alone. So just like we're looking for essentially a very compact détaché stroke to start, yeah? This is like the A, that's the foundation of the stroke. We add a little bit of some verticality, some bounce, but the principles are that your weight is available. We're not holding the arm, we are releasing the arm, yeah? Let's try a little bit of that stroke. Just you. Find a little bit more contact in your bow hold. Start from the string and do that one more time. Yes, keep it up. Yeah. Keep that nice and compact. You can take that back to the practice room and check out. We'll keep working on some of that weight stuff in the arm. Let's go from with the piano, let's go from this and let's play a bit. And I want you to experiment. Find this contact and practice focusing your eyesight on that contact point. Yeah? Breathe. Yes? It's okay, keep going. You took the repeat, that's great. Since we're stopped, check it out. This rhythm, yeah? Dum bum 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 dum 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 ba bim bim. It's just got to be a little longer, yeah? Dum bum bim bim. Let's get to the end of this section here. Keep with that stroke. I hear a bit more of the weight. We're hearing more of that contact with the string. It's great. Yeah? Cool. That was great. One more. Let's last time this section. Every time you have a scale, I want you to crescendo like your life depended on it. Yeah. Contact point. Here we go. Yeah, cool. So, Corin, you have a couple things that I want you, we didn't get to the harmonics and stuff, maybe we'll talk about that a little bit later, but you have a couple things to, like some tasks that your effort can yield great results. And that is to, when you have the offbeat rhythms, fill in those rhythms, grab a metronome, so that we start to feel that steady pulse. Take out the filled in rhythm, so we have the printed offbeats, you bum, 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 versus, ding, bum, 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 trying to find a steady rhythmic pulse there. And then your détaché that transforms into the spiccato, yeah? So practicing a little bit slower, getting used to where your contact point is, rather than, let me rephrase that. Being intentional about where your contact point is versus reacting to what you're hearing, yeah? Okay? You will go very far when you start to focus a little bit on that in your practice room. Yeah? Do you have any questions for me?
No, I'm good.
Yeah, and if you think of some, let me know. Wonderful job today. few different colors. You have a nice, you kind of held us on that last note to usher the end of the piece. And some exciting moments when you are finding some of the drama in your sound. So congratulations, very nice performance. Let's perhaps do the yo-yo ma method and work backwards. Maybe we'll start at the end. Find for me, measure, 6, 7, 8, 9, 179. I want to go from 179. We're going to go to the end. And I want you to look for a few more places where you can color your sound using your vibrato. I like your decision to use a little bit more vibrato on the last note. I think it's a good one. It's not a one-speed vibrato. It's just a gentle shimmer, yeah? Let's do one more time, but you must find a little bit more tone in your piano, pianissimo. It's almost, I cannot hear you, yeah? So careful that as we go through each time that we are getting back to that sound, that command of your sound, yeah? Even if your contact point's a little far to the fingerboard, you guys, you still need the weight in your arm available to have this core sound, this tone, yeah? One more time, please, from 179. Well, sorry, let me stop you. Go one more time from 179. Just cue in your wonderful collaborator with you. Breathe and show that entrance. Nice. Beautiful. You have a couple rhythms to check, yeah? A couple of the tied, the low A on the G string, that tied A is a beat longer, yeah? We're sort of tripping up over the rhythm there. You can fix that on your own. This kind of piano sound, but that still has tone, is incredibly important, yeah? So when you are practicing, take a few times, play it mezzo forte. Play it a different dynamic, and then bring it back to the printed composer intention, yeah? Just to find what that sound feels like. Let's continue backwards, please, and find, please, 156. I think I might have meant 155. Let's do that bar before. 1 ti da tum tum, right? Not 1 ti da tum tum. We need a full crescendo, and you have 2 beats to do it.
You know when you bring yourself in for the first time, we haven't been playing, but then we started a section, and you show, very nicely actually, you breathe, we show where we are. I want you to also do this in your music, yeah? Like this point we just arrived, just like you might do in a chamber group. But in fact, you are kind of playing in a sort of chamber setting, right? You have a collaborator with you, right? So not only does it help you feel where the music is going, but it displays to your partners where you are going to place that next beat, okay? So also I have a question for you. We're gonna go in the middle of that section, like 171 or something. You have a fortissimo and then forzando, forzando, forzando. Can we do something there? I hear a little bit of a diminuendo right now. Is that an intentional decision? Okay, so let's try a couple things. Let's see if we can make it a little bit more dramatic, or at the very least a little bit more intentional, right? Let's go from 171. Perhaps just at the moment without piano. Try this on for size. We have sort of and then something different. Yeah? Different. Nice. I shouldn't have talked. That was beautiful. One more time, please. Just kind of finding the weight in your lower half to get a beautiful sound on those forzandos. Yeah? Forzandos. Yeah, nice. We have another forzando. So it's almost like you're playing a trick on us. You're kind of showing us, you know, what? Hello, I'm here. Yeah? So can you go right on that mezzo piano? Get to the lower half for that G downbeat. Careful in your phrasing that we do have ti-yum-pum-pim. So the downbeat is the most, rather than ti-hum-pum-pa-di-do. That would be something different, perhaps. Tone. Nice. We have these like tricky dynamics. In all of your pieces that you guys are playing, just beware. We learn a lot about doing what the composer wrote, right? Now, there are so many points in the chain before we get this piece of music where people make decisions. The thing that we are left with that we can rely on is harmony and maybe a musical shape in the piece. Now, here's a point where you have this diminuendo here, but actually the phrase is not over. So we need a little bit more sound. This is almost like a tricky moment. You have a nice phrasing, but we still are, let's say, give that a try. What would that sound like? Take us through that 4-bar phrase. Right, that's beautiful, that's beautiful. Let's combine with piano, please. Putting these puzzle pieces together from that same 156 pickup, or 155 rather.
Sorry, 1, 2.
much more of a story. I can see the colors, I can see the scenery. That is quite beautiful. Does it make sense, what I'm asking you to do, right? We're finding more of that intentional sound where you are in the bow to accurately play some of these articulations with the goal of telling a story, yeah? Let's keep some of that in mind. Let's go back to the beginning and play a little bit from there. Good. There's a small articulation thing, but I think it does matter in terms of a cohesive musical idea with the piano. So in bar 3, in this part I have printed 3 accents with the second 2 accents under a slur, right? Him, pom, pom. I think there's a couple different ways you could do it, but I'm hearing a little bit of an articulation that would match what you have in the piano, yeah? So maybe there's a little stop in between, kind of like we used to call them the potatoes in the bow. Potatoes, maybe. Pom, 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 pom. We have these waves in the bow. So give a little vibrato in the left hand, and let's have some weight on each of those. Pom, 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 pom. Taking us to that 4th bar. Let's go from the beginning. Beautiful tone. Keep it up. Again. Brian, does that make sense? Does that make sense? Very nice. Yim, pom, pom, pim. So the slur is kind of like this is the bowing direction, but the articulation now is matching in the music with what we have underneath. Make sense? Find for me, please, 16, 15. You have a beautiful chance here to show a ta-ya-da-dee. We need a little bit more of an arc in the music, so take care where you end up before you start that in the bow. I think you need a little bit more real estate, a little bit more bow before you start that. Can you go from the mezzo piano just before that, 2 bars? Yeah, and now for the secret sauce, we add a little vibrato. Nice, do that again. That was so cool. You have these 2 bars to usher in this incredible color in the piano. So just like we did before, you have only 1 note here, but you're going to create a musical phrase. Yeah? Tell me, which of those is the most out of the 6 B naturals you have? No.
The middle one?
Out of 6, tell me the number. Count them up.
Wait, does the 6 start from like the first note of the first floor?
The piano, where the piano is, yes.
Oh.
Yes.
The 4th one?
Yes. Awesome. That's not most in aggression or in, it is in volume, but it's not in like but it's a warm, vibrated note. Try that on your own. Let's hear this arc over the 2 bars. you now try it again, and I want you to experiment with how much bow you're using. Okay, I can hear a little bit more of that phrase. Go even further. Sit a little more of your weight into the string. And then add the vibrato. Nice, nice. I want you to play around with that articulation in your practice room, that it's not necessarily pop, 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 but it's pom, 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 pom. You can achieve this by keeping the bow moving, but adding those potatoes, if you will. Potatoes. That might be the little takeaway from our masterclass. One more time on your own, and we'll add piano. Beautiful. That's a gorgeous color, yeah? Please listen to that, emulate that in your practice room a few times. And I want you to experiment with how much bow you can use to get that kind of sound, yeah? Let's go from the forte phrase before that, the 25. Yam pom piati. Storytelling moments, yeah? You do that's the most dramatic, yeah? So you have 1, 2, 3, and we go to here. I want to hear a little bit more of that shape, yeah? So vibrato, vibrato, and articulation as we get here. Let's go from that spot.
Sorry, from where?
So sorry. What's that measure number? Help me.
45.
45. Thank you.
I don't have the measurements, but it's not.
With the current underneath, the river. These like overarching concepts where we're trying to find structures of phrases. We're trying to find where the music is going. So I want to challenge you. Let's go back to those 6 B's. And I want you to find a phrase for the first statement of this section. La da ding bom, ya da ti da ting ta yam bom bom pi da la di. Yeah, the first section of this. Let's go from it's 35. The 2 bars before the piano entrance, yeah. Enjoyed a lot the for Sandi I think you can go even further in your emphatic, in your commitment to finding that articulation. Yeah? When we get to experience these different moments, these different colors, it transforms the music. Yeah? So that is our job. It's not necessarily to play violin. Yeah? It's to tell a story. Yeah? We use our technique, all of our practice effort in order to accomplish that goal. And I heard some of that today. So congratulations. It's very nice. Well done. demonstrate a nice command over your scales. This piece is a great example of why we all practice scales and arpeggios. Yes? Right? Okay, good. Essentially, all of music is reconstructed scales and arpeggios. So, you can play those, no problem. Yeah. Now comes the task of phrasing them, taking us on a journey through them. Yeah. And I mostly want to work on some of those sections with you, and a little bit in the stroke. Yeah. So let's go from, I don't have measured numbers, but I have letters. You have letters there? Okay, so maybe I'll come back and forth. It's before A, your entrance of 16ths. It's the mezzo forte before A.
we're gonna do, you already started phrasing a little bit more. It was awesome. We followed the shape of the line. Yeah? I want you to look for a few more shapes. With the general idea, we're of course getting louder, but when you guys have this like long crescendo through the music, it's not a linear line. Yeah? We have to give some dynamic, take some away so that we can give some more, take some away so we can continue giving more. Otherwise, we cap out. We cannot play louder. We crunch the sound. It doesn't work, right? We call this kind of simply the terracing some of our dynamics. We're going to figure out how best to do that here so that we can have this awesome roller coaster effect of notes, yeah? So, I'm going to give you a couple suggestions, and then I want you to experiment too. So, we have mountain, right? You had a nice echo here, love it. Ba-da-ba-dee, ba-da-ba-dee, ba-da-ba-da-ba-da-ba-dee, do-do-do-doom, ba-da-ba-dum, ba-da-ba-da-ba-da-ba-dum. So I want you to, these kind of smaller, let's say, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, are little sections of the larger line. Yeah? And then we have this repetition here. You arrive, but maybe we give a little drop in dynamic so that we can then take some journey or direction to get to E. And even though our shape falls, we are actually still going forward in the dynamic. Yeah? That same section one more time, finding some of those shapes. I think you can kind of tighten up, no, that's not the right word. Shore up a little bit of your stroke, a little bit more compact, a little bit more into the string. I want to hear a little bit more contact. And then, as you need to, open up or give a little bit more weight when we need to crescendo. Nice. So you have to go all the way, and you're falling in register. We're going to those thicker strings. You need a little bit of help from the right arm so that we can continue the line all the way to the octave Ds where you end the phrase. Please go from that forte. Yeah. Where's your destination?
The D and the D's.
Okay, so maybe that first open string, right? So I love your direction when you're on the E and the A string, but as we fall down to the A, the D, I lose a little bit of the sound, and that's kind of when we need to lock in. Like that's a da-da-dee-da-dee-da-dee-da-pa-da-dee-da-dum, yum, boom. And then the air can clear, yeah? Let's try that one more time, please, from your forte. Okay, so against my better judgment, may I try this? Let's take a look here. You know, you kind of have to open a little bit in the right arm to get some more of the vibration on that thicker string. Yeah, and can we have a little bit of Phillip? Can you play those chords right at the end, as you do? Yeah, come, bum, pum, like maybe a brass trumpet or something like that. Can we hear a little bit of the articulation? So a little more bow speed and a little space. Bum, bum, bum. Nice, beautiful taper on that third D as well. Yeah? So let's take another one of these spots, and we're gonna find, I'm gonna ask you to experiment kind of in a similar way. So I have a B, but it's the triplets. Yeah, yeah. Let's go, how's starting right on it?
Okay.
Okay? Here, 130. One moment. Take a look, just take 10 seconds. Just kind of scan through, see the shapes, some of these arpeggios, and then the bars that don't have the arpeggios. We're gonna look for something different. Something in the phrasing that is a Marisa stamp. We're gonna find that. So let's go from there. Did you want to stop there? Can you keep going? You already started phrasing more than in that first playthrough. I actually particularly enjoyed this terracing up here. We have to give a little bit, and you do it well, but take care with the contact point as we get up here so that you can still grow. We are going through, even though there's a forte written here, we take a little bit away, and so that we have some more to grow. Yeah? Otherwise, you're going to cap out. The E string just can't take it, you know? Go from these cascading lines. That's measure 150. We're still going! Now, totally different. You find some of it, but instead of doing we want the long line. So, and then it goes forever, you know. But we need some of that sound. And it doesn't mean that we're dividing the bar in half. It means that you are trying to have this legato weight into the string all the way through that part. Again, going to the next downbeat. Let's do that arrival, perhaps from the piano. right track, but in the middle of that bar you give a lot of bow. Actually, we need to go to the next downbeat. So rather than ta da dee dee ya da dee dum, da da dee dee da da dee dum. Can you do that once just on your own? That bar before the trill. When you get to the tip, you have a nice weight, but save your bow and then go. Yeah, nice. A very simple bow distribution shift. We're just choreographing so that we can have musical direction going forward. Yeah? One more time, please. Just the ti-ya-da-da-ti. Save your bow at the tip and then go. Beautiful. So, where is your destination, Marisa?
The trill?
Yes. Yes. Not the B natural, right?
Yeah.
So we're just saving a little and then spending. Yeah, that's very nice. Let's go. You know where we started with the triplets? It was, I forget the measure, maybe 150 or something.
130, I think.
Please, let's go count with me before that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 before that. Yeah. You got it? And we're looking for shapes, phrasing, and direction to take us all the way here. Cool. One more time. When you're doing the pa-da-dum, bi-da-dum, pa-da-dum, if we want to, as string players, I think it's probably predominantly string players in here, if we want to create direction in that line, I want you to use this tool. We're going to start using a little less bow, and then I want you to open up the right arm as you go through those 2 bars. So which one's going to have the most bow?
The later ones?
Yes, into that F sharp on the downbeat. Yum pa dim pa dum pa dim pa yo. Then you have a beautiful color very high up there. So let's figure out some of this bow distribution here in our last moments. Same spot. Dum, yum, ba-dum, ba-dum. That was great. You're sort of here. I want you in your practice room to experiment maybe opening up a little bit. And then you can, these are maybe, could be a whole bow. Maybe, I don't know. Try it. Nice. You have to sustain your sound through that whole thing. So you have those high stratosphere E string notes where your success, I think, will come from opening up a little bit more of your right arm. Yeah? And like I was saying earlier with Corin, being very intentional, Corin, very intentional about the contact point. Yeah? Especially because you got a short string length and the thinnest string. You don't have as many options. Yeah? So we've got to make sure that we stay in the ballpark where you want to be for the kind of sound that Marisa's going to play. Yeah? So I want you to take some of these points away into the practice room. That you have shredded your scales, right? You got your arpeggios. You are quite comfortable using all of the bow, but now we're going to decide, you're going to decide, where are we going to shape the music? Where is the harmony going? And when can I spend? When do I need to save? These are these kinds of questions we have to ask ourselves when we are unpacking a piece, a concerto, a chamber music work, orchestral stuff, yeah? So I want you to embrace a little bit of experimenting in the practice room, playing sections. All of you that are piano, play them forte. A section that's forte, play it piano, yeah? Go back and forth to stretch your command, all right? You had a beautiful presentation today. You should be very proud of yourself. Great job. this memorized?
Around there.
Around there. Okay, so we'll go through some of these sections. I'm going to ask you to go maybe back and forth. Let's check some of the memory, because I think that you have to play it memorized soon. So, great job. Some beautiful tapering of the phrases, some nice bow control, and I think a good start to some of the articulation, but we need to find more variety in character, in color, and we'll go through a couple of spots to figure out what on earth that means. So I say articulation, and it can be heard in the very first chord. Can you play just on your own the first phrase into the beginning of the second phrase? Let's do it from memory. Okay, this comes back a couple times, this theme, yeah? The second chord, you play you have a nice sustain, yeah? I do not think those first two chords are created equal. The first chord is a different musical idea, right? The second phrase, we sustain but the first phrase is we need a little bit lift and perhaps a little bit of speed in the release from that chord. I want you to try finding this kind of new articulation for the chord. Just experimenting what it sounds like, make sure we're listening, and where we are intentional about our contact point. Let's play the first nice. Can you spend a little bit, careful, stay with me, spend a little bit on the top note. Try a few times. Nice. Start once from the string, and then we'll go back. Nice. Now start from the string, and then in the release from the chord, I want you to spend a little bit of bow. Yum, yum. Not bad. Couple more times. But we need not just to, but we need to yum to. Play without the bottom notes in the chord, just the G's. Yeah, do that again. Yeah, I love the experimenting. Keep going. We have sort of, at the risk of looking ridiculous, we have yum oh, this kind of yum oh, and then we sit on that second G. But we need lift. We need lift, and that comes from a little speed in the bow. Nice. Careful not to rush in the tempo, yeah? Yum, oh, 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah. Retake a little faster. This kind of yum, let's go with the piano for the beginning. We'll come back to this idea, yeah? This idea of lift in the articulation. Nice. Great. That chord you played was actually magical, yeah? Yum, oh. You are ushering in the court. The kings and queens are coming in to hear Stella play, yeah? Tum, oh. That was beautiful. You accomplish a very clear articulation when you start from the string. I want you to experiment doing that with the second chord as well. There's a little bit of sound quality we lose just because you're crashing from the air. Now you can do that, that's fine, but we want to approach things from all angles. So play that second chord and just start from the string. And then careful where you are. Don't look at me. Look at your contact point so that we can take care of that sound quality in your sustain. You're a little close to the bridge for some of the weight you're using. Nice, nice. We want to accomplish a ring, a kind of golden, floating, but strong and confident sound in this Mozart. Yeah? Let's go from the beginning again. That was fantastic with the chords. Keep finding this sense of lift. We won't do all the spots with those chords, but they are analogous, yeah? So we're finding that sense. It's clear, your sound quality is also improved in just a second. So when you are performing again for the next time, careful that we're not worried about anything that's going on, that we are focused on crafting the most beautiful sound you can play with, okay? We're just looking, that means watching your contact point, yeah? Go from your solo. Can you start from the string and sync instead of attacking from the air? Let's try. Nice. Do that again. So involve your breath. Set, sync. And where are you going with the phrase? Just a rhetorical question. I want to hear it in your sound. Let's go from there, that entrance. Stella, beautiful, beautiful. Sorry to keep cutting you off, Phillip. It's gorgeous. Maybe a round of applause for our wonderful pianist. Yes. Okay. Very tough role to accomplish in these concertos. Yeah, this is great. Okay, Stella, find for me, please, 60. Clean up the sound quality. You get a little close to the bridge for the weight. Instead of muscling that, try finding it with a little bit of a speed. So you can get away from the bridge and spend through that. But keep the weight you have. Can you play just you from the bar before, 59? The B natural. Whoa. Ba-da-ba-da-ba-da-ba. Nice, nice. One more time. Just keep an eye on the contact point. You can play memorized. Yeah? And when you arrive off of these filigrees, ornamentation, scales, again, I want you to take us all the way through that phrase. Yeah, we want to go all the way to the next downbeat. Yeah? Another fanfare moment. I'd like for you to try and accomplish some of the sound you're getting with the speed of the bow versus with the weight of your arm. Not to say to take away the weight. We need it. But I want you to experiment opening up your right hand a little bit. Can we go right on the set your bow on the string and then go. And now, this is a common theme we're looking for, this lift in the articulation. Where's your destination in that bar?
The C sharp.
Okay, yes. Where is the most emphatic appoggiatura? And
What does that mean?
if you don't know, it's okay. It's okay. We'll come back to that later. I want you to spend ta-dum-be-dum, chi-dum-dum-be. That lift at the end of the stroke, very nice. Yeah? Keep experimenting with that. We want to find this moments of lift rather than ta-dum-pa-dum-pam-pam-ti-dum-bum-chi-dum-dum-be. Go please from the B natural in 59. Let's play together. Cool. You have two different characters here. I want to hear a little bit more of a difference. We sort of have the mouse, and then, I don't know, the aardvark, or like another animal that is fluffy and round and a little bit bigger. So we have the articulation difference, right? I think you can keep the more compact. And then spend on the legato section. Cool. I love the difference in articulation. Now, it is a little bit aggressive in the sound. Can you clean up that sound quality? And it's not so loud, the difference in character. We're still kind of talking to each other close here, rather than from outside. Nice. Stella, it's written as a quarter in the part, but very often in Mozart, it is kind of like a elongated eighth. So instead of pa-pa-bum bum bim bum ba, it's da-da-dum bum bim bum bum bum. So let the left hand vibrate so the sound carries, but we're not sustaining that quarter. It belongs in the articulation family of that character at that moment. Does that make sense? Can you try that? So with less words, the quarter note, shorter. Versus ta-di, ta-bi-ya-di. We need a little bit of space in between, but maintain the sound that you are getting. Yeah. The sound quality here, I've heard you play with gorgeous sound, But just because you're watching the music and not super aware of where your contact point is, we lose some of that quality, especially when you go to the E string. So just careful that you are aware of how close you are to the bridge on the E string. It cannot take as much weight as the others. Yeah? Can we go from that scale, please? 71.
On the derby.
That might be a tough place to start. Maybe that bar before it, but bum bing bum. May I see your violin? I'll just try one or two things. I'm just getting cold, bud. Versus, sorry. So somewhere you are finding moments where you can release the ring in the sound. Bum, 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 bum. Let's go from the trumpet call. Tong, ding. Stella, start from the string and then sink and pull. But rather than from the air, start from so it's clear. Does it make sense? You can take that to the practice room and refine it, but we need the pa-dum, 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 yeah? Rather than the sustain through. And he takes the time, Mozart, to write in those small rests. So there is a release in that line. I want to quickly do just a couple more spots before I let you go. Something like a rhythm check in 92. Just in terms of, yeah. This is the same as the beginning chord. The idea of the articulation. You don't have to do the same going or anything, but in the idea of the character, there is a lift between beat 1 and beat 2. Going to the next downbeat. Can you play from the bar before? Can you try same spot, but on the first quarter, use the speed of the bow to give us lift. It's beautiful. That's very nice. I made some notes in your piano part. Go through them just to check some of the spots. The last thing that we'll do today, please find measure 136. And this is for an incredibly poignant color change. Let's play from 136. That's the spot. So we do tom pam pa la 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 tim pa di dum pa dim dim. From the E natural, it is a totally different character. It's a different color. Yeah? So in terms of how you approach the string and the quality that you are getting, you're gonna need to match contact point, weight, speed of your bow, and vibrato to find a new color. Can you start right on the E natural? And let's experiment what that could sound like. Take a look at your contact point. Stay a little bit in the middle, not next to the bridge. And I want you to vibrate and glide, pull across the string. Whoa, gorgeous. Do that again. Yeah, we are letting the weight into the string. We are guiding it across the string. This is not a moment where it's into. It's a warmer, gentler color. See if you can put that puzzle piece next to what just came before, which is different. Yeah. 136 again. Start from the string. Clean up a little bit of that crash. You have, for about the first bar or so, it's gorgeous. It's like a professional. And then we lose some of that as we go through the little noodly stuffs. So I want you to find a little bit more of that gliding in this color world. One last time, and then I think we'll wrap up with your gorgeous music. You can find more lifts. Ta-team! I loved how you held it. Pa-pa! Boom, boom, boom. It's almost like a joke. It's a hilarious moment. Ta-team! It holds us on this half cadence. No, I don't know what the cadence is, but it is not an authentic cadence. We are suspended, and you bring us back home. Boom, boom, boom. A little bit of separation, yeah? Do you have any questions about this color change? This is very important. You accomplish it quite well, and I want you to take that color change through this section. We are in a new world, yeah? Does it make sense?
Yeah.
Yeah? Okay. Beautiful job. There's a couple notes in here. Maybe just check some phrasing, some practice spots. But the main element of finding lift in the phrase, the articulation changes, which give new characters life, right? And a little bit of opening up the right arm, when we want to find this new color of sound, that it's not so sustained, yeah? And your success comes from contact point, weight, and speed of the bow, yeah? With some of the secret sauce. Wonderful job. It's a pleasure to hear you play.